Ladies and gentlemen, we are back bringing you another week of Dreadzone Gaming playing in the Lotus Primrose League. Tonight they're facing off against Genesis for, I believe it's week 6. So, we already hit the draft running. We have a Jarvan Band, Hecarim Band, Zyra, and Cassiopeia now taken off the table. And what are you thinking is going to be that power pick first pick here?
Honestly, it seems like a lot of people have either been picking Jinx or, well, Jinx got banned.
Jinx is gone.
I was not expecting a Talon to be a first pick, to be honest. Maybe it's a flex.
So, I've seen it a little bit with the Talon going in the jungle. However, I can't really attest to the strength of that. Now, we we see the Corki probably assuming if they do lock that in, it's going mid. Corki's Q can illuminate Talon inside of his stealth. Do you think then that they move that to the jungle?
I think potentially, I mean, we also have to take into consideration that Genesis kind of has their hopes for playoffs kind of dashed, so they might just not care and might just be playing whatever they feel comfortable on.
Also potentially an option. So let's see kind of where that goes as the draft unfolds. Now we have both of the ranged coming in from the side of DCG. We see a Corki, we see a Caitlyn, and they're answering with a Jhin. And the Dirty Lux coming in, who has just been putting insane amount of damage out. Especially if they go into that support role, get the Dark Harvest rolling and everything else. Now, what do you want to pair up with this Caitlyn?
Honestly, I think anything with healing or shields to kind of give that longevity for that Caitlyn to stay in lane.
Right, right. So we now see the Sejuani coming in. You draft two range champions already, so hopefully to see a little bit of melee coming out here from the side of Olympus to kind of really synergize with that passive a little bit. And now second phase of Vance coming in, taking with that Camille, who Octofu really enjoys playing. And we see the Trundle coming in, so they can't counter jungle with the Trundle on the Sejuani, offering her a lot of safety and ensuring she gets her tank stats. And also the Tahm Kench and Shin now coming in, so they're definitely targeting the top lane and not so much of the jungle there. I'm sorry, the support there from Genesis. Now we know that the Rakan is still up. I don't know if I'd pair that up with a Caitlyn, but I definitely want to see these last couple picks unfold. And definitely not the Caitlyn. We do have the Nautilus coming in. So between the Sejuani and the Nautilus, that is a metric load of CC available to the side of DZG. And what would you like to round out this comp? What do you think they're missing that they need?
I feel like they need potentially either, I mean, let's see, opening here. There's still an Ornn potential for top lane. Trying to see if they need scaling simply because Caitlyn is an early mid game bully. Corki definitely scales, so maybe
Oh.
honestly I'm trying to still get used to Tofu's. I mean, they could still go with a Camille potentially, actually, now that we're looking at Mundo.
Well, the Camille was banned out, so it's going to have to be
Oh,
something
okay.
else. And, you know, that Mundo coming in and really offering what I think Genesis was missing there was the frontline option, really. So I think that Talon is definitely going to be slotting into the jungle here. Victor going into the mid lane. And, hey, I think you called it here. We see that Ornn coming in. So not necessarily bringing you the late game scaling in the champion himself, but being able to offer those ornaments. And I was wrong. They actually end up opting for the Vi instead. So lane Vi. Or maybe top lane Sejuani, actually, and then jungle Vi.
I honestly see that top lane Sejuani more just because I have seen Tofu play it before. I have not seen a lane Vi from him yet.
Yeah, I definitely think that's probably the play that they're going here for, which does offer a little bit of an annoyance just due to the fact that Mundo is able to pretty much shrug off the first Vault Breaker coming in from the Vi, but her ultimate coming in, pairing up with the Sejuani, and I think, just based on the draft, Sejuani is going to be wanting to look mid. And it's really going to be pretty imperative here for the side of Olympus to be mindful and cognizant of the Talon burst potential and the scaling capacity of that Victor.
Yeah, it does seem like it really depends on Genesis who gets ahead. Otherwise, they're mostly burst comp, while DZG has a little bit more scaling pick comp. It's definitely going to be interesting to see who can take advantage of the benefits of their comp first.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've seen both sides. We have, you know, the Sejuani versus the Mundo. We have the Vi versus the Town, etc., etc., etc. Looking at all five, seeing everything picked out, and also if you want to take a little bit of bias knowing just how these teams have been playing, what side do you think is favorable here?
I am honestly favoring DZG now. That might be a little bit biased because we are from DZG, but honestly, I have a little bit more faith that they're able to pull off their comp, even though it is a little slightly more difficult to pull off.
So, okay, we see the ease of execution here from DZG. We have the Sejuani, we have the Vi, the easy single target lockup, especially when you throw a Nautilus into the mix. What is the win condition here for the side of Genesis?
either a strong bot lane because they have a bully bot lane with Jin and Lux, also making sure that Victor doesn't feed too much early since he does scale into the late game. And if Mundo by any chance happens to get fed, it definitely will benefit off that, as especially with Talon kind of swooping in to get some kills. So all three lanes kind of offer that little bully potential, and then Talon can kind of come in and clean up. It's just that awareness of that Talon jungle to making sure that they don't overextend and give unwanted kills to a carry threat like Talon.
Absolutely. No, I definitely could see where it could go in their favor. But ladies and gentlemen, that will take us to our spectate delay. You heard it here from Silent Elements on his thoughts of how this game is going to pan out. But we'll see the live action here in just 3 minutes. We'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back, bringing you into the action here as we see the side of DZG looking for something a little cheeky here with a 5-man invade. Let's see how this goes, and then we'll go ahead and speed the action up a little bit and make sure that we're bringing you to the most current time, since the League of Legends spectate client can be a little on the wonky side. So, Silent Elements, you've seen both sides come in. Nothing too crazy here going on with the level 1. What are you thinking here? Seeing anything too crazy going on with maybe summoner spells, or maybe seeing out runes?
I don't really see anything that stands out. The invade was definitely in favor of DZG, so I definitely respect that they definitely wanted to get that early lead if possible, but nothing happened, so we'll see how this lane phase goes for everyone.
Well, speeding it up now to bring you to the current time, we do have a little bit of a fight going here, and that is going to be the Jin's Flash and Heal, both used down on the side of from Genesis. That was a great trade coming out from the side of DZG Olympus, but let's go ahead and see if we can't get our gold back to normal and get rid of these time controls. But yeah, outstanding so far, that trade really going on. But looking at, just the scoreboard here a little bit, as, we are bringing to that current time, we do see a little bit of that gold just so minutely in favor of Genesis here. And, Sejuani and Amundo has to be an annoying lane matchup just because of those cleavers returning health, the sustain available, and also the fact that Mundo really doesn't have to play around with a mana bar either. We see Talon now doing a topside clear and fight on the opposite side. The Lux being extremely annoying, throwing the bindings out, and just kind of business as usual. Mid's pushed in for the side of DZG, and Tofu is pretty much going to be hugging tower for a little bit. Not really able to get much CC options out here, just because Mundo no bueno when it comes to CC. So, now we know that we have a really high scaling mid lane here. And the tanks in the top lane, what do you think is really going to be the moment that breaks this game open?
Whoever can get a lead in mid lane is definitely going to break the side open for their team. Honestly, top lane is a wet noodle fight, so even if one gets a kill, I still feel like they'll still be relevant.
Here. DZG Heartbreak does connect with the Victor in the mid lane. The Nautilus coming out gets the hook down, but that gravity field is going to do work. I think it might give Victor the space that he needs, and it does. The flash was burned, and a great roam coming in here from Genshu to team up with DZG Heartbreak and really force Victor into an uncomfortable position. Gravity field doing work, but DZG Heartbreak might be in a little bit of trouble. Damage going down. Talon does secure the first blood. I think that was the Noxian bleed coming out there to really secure that kill. And first blood going over to the side of the Talon. Oh, man. You just sometimes get a little bit too overzealous. You have a really good gank come out and you get what you want, and then just try to take a little bit more, and sometimes it just not go in your favor. Talon there getting the first blood is going to be a little bit scary because the members of DZG, some of them are pretty squishy, the ones that they care about. The Caitlyn and the Corki both have great escape tools. You have the 90 caliber net, you have the Valkyrie available for both of them, but Talon is can be pretty sticky, especially when he's able to parkour over every bend and corner. Dragon coming up first, or just Dragon coming up now. It's actually going to be an Ocean Drake to start, and DZG kind of being forced back into an unfavorable position there in the bot lane after that roam.
And it was especially unfortunate that Victor managed to get an assist off that.
Oh, absolutely, because the fight just happened. Now we're seeing a little bit more of an action going here. That will be a step into that trap. A lot of damage going on to the 7-11. Lux is ticking down, but the damage will actually go into a little enchanted. Jhin will fall. Real's picking up the kill there. And this duo bot lane here from the side of DZG are doing work. Vi sneaking into the bot lane here, but I don't think they're going to be getting anything, especially since the Lux will be backing out. Maybe they hold him here for a while and really play that patience game, but the recall does start to be channeled here from the Vi. They have the option for Drake, and I think that might be negative. Caitlyn will start her recall. So yeah, now granted, it wasn't too much gold for the side of the Victor to gain, but yeah, that assist really coming in and will feel nice. And it's, despite it being first blood going over and a little bit of the CS numbers looking in the favor of Genesis, it's only a 300 gold deficit. Way still too early to tell how things are going to pan out. So just a little bit of an early game conundrum for sure.
Yeah, I was hoping that with that early kill in the bot lane that they would try to force that early Drake, especially since the bot lane was not around and town was on the opposite side of the map.
That's what I thought was going to happen too. However, Caitlyn wanting to go back, get that Noon Quiver. As long as they're able to snowball it, fantastic. Ocean Drake is very nice for the lane sustain, especially, for Tofu up there. Playing the War of Attrition with a Mundo who can hit you with a cleaver, get health back. And that's really his way to stay in the lane. Kind of like the melee Vladimir, so to speak. Um, but, they opt to just take the recalls and maybe just put themselves in a fighting position to be able to look for that objective here in a little bit. We do have Herald spawning in just a few moments, I think another minute, when that objective will come live. And DZG Heartbreak on the top side of the map, and like we talked about earlier, has a lot of synergy to be able to pull off with Tofu here. May look for the level 6 before they do anything, but time will tell. Um, Little here getting poked out very heavily as this Corki is just bullying this Victor. And if you're a DCG fan, you love to see those damage trades going in that favor because Victor can be a little obnoxious himself. Now, granted, it is going to be a scaling fest, but Corki getting the early advantage here and getting able to get that CS early is definitely going to feel really good for Mobster Penguin.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see that basically DZG is ahead in almost every lane except for potentially jungle and top lane at the moment, and
Oh
that
no.
Jin.
This might be a little bit of trouble here as those cleavers are going to come out. Tofu forced to flash. TBS Collateral will flash back on him and will pick up the solo kill as those cleavers just slow the Sejuani into oblivion. DZG now maybe looking on the bottom side of the map here as they send Reels and Genshu down to get this Drake. And I don't know if they know the talent's up there, but this will be the play. We see the pinks coming out, and I think after this blue buff, that's what they go for. The Herald for the Drake. Minus the solo kill here, Silent. How do you feel about the trade for these objectives?
The trade for these objectives is perfect, especially considering top lane just died. Fortunately for DZG, Sejuani is a utility champ, so even if they fall behind, as long as this does not continue into a landslide, top lane will eventually be, well,
Oh,
looks like we're looking for
package
another fight.
Packages available as Mobster Penguin does go on to 7-Eleven. Unfortunately, it will be the Ignite that will tick down and take it. Mobster Penguin here might be looking for a little Enchanted and does not connect with that rocket, or maybe it just did not have the damage that it needed. But a kill coming over to DZG, getting that support with that package available. And yeah, Lux was being able to bully the Nautilus a little bit in the pit, but Corki having access to the package, you have to play a lot more respectful when that option is available to the team. So, kind of going back a little bit, we saw the action. Fantastic. Awesome to see DZG picking up this kill. But we now have the X Factor. They traded the Drake for the Herald. Now, if you were king for a day on the side of Genesis, where do you think it's best utilized? Do you put it in the top lane and already help that winning matchup and really get Mundo to be that insanely tanky front line? Or do you maybe look to help out your Victor or your bot lane here?
So, honestly, with the way that Jin is building, I already would never help bot lane just because he opted for his boots first.
Okay.
So offers absolutely no damage. I would honestly, if you want to push a lead, it would either be top or mid, depending on the timing of the backings. For example, right now would be optimal for it to crash, but Corky's coming back. Honestly, I would just use a top. I definitely foresee a window that happens to have a lot of gold and is already pushing a lead to be extremely helpful, and it definitely will make an impact, especially since Victor is very immobile and Corky's able to roam just like he did earlier.
Certainly, and when we did flash over to that gold graph here, we do see the Mundo is sitting almost 1,000 gold up here on Tofu. And, sitting on the Demolish as well. He went for the Grasp, has Demolish available in that kit. But now we see the play coming out as Vi goes ulted onto the Lux here. Lux tries to ult back for some damage and does get some out, but it is not going to be enough. And 7-Eleven does fall, but now we're seeing the play come topside as Talon is maybe looking to dive Tofu. Tofu opting to go into the Talon here, but the damage coming out. TB has collateral, throws a cleaver, secures the kill. Herald drops, and DZG will not be able to get this first tower, but they will get significant plates. The trade's going on from the top side of the bot side of the map, and it looks like DZG is playing perfectly content, just saying, hey, you know what, Tofu, you're just going to have to suffer a little bit. Ooh, as maybe that I thought it was going to sneak around there. But, they're splitting they're splitting their strong side of the map. Now it's coming up in the favor of Genesis here, who are sitting at a 1.8k gold lead, and they're actually going to get the second tower. I think Genesis came up the winners on this trade, Silent.
They definitely did. The utilization of the Rift Herald top is definitely impactful. So it's kind of curious how the next few objectives will come. The second Herald as well as the second Dragon to see which side it lands on. Especially since top lane is free to roam now that 2 turrets are gone.
Right, and if the damage was constrained to just the single tower, maybe it wouldn't have been nearly as bad, but that really opens up the top side of the map. Now, however, it does mean that if Tofu says, hey, I'm just going to freeze it here and farm a little bit, then Mundo's going to have to be creative about where he goes. Maybe goes somewhere where Mundo should not be pleasing to go, or maybe he does go where he pleases and things just come up for Genesis here. But the early game definitely going on the side of Genesis, despite them not being the favorites, as we discussed coming into this, so... I'm excited to see a really good series, despite um, where the standings are currently.
Honestly, I was hoping for mid and the ADC to switch for DZG so that way Caitlyn can kind of take advantage of the lead that they built bot lane and Corki can get an opportunity to punish this Jhin, who has been really unimpactful.
Right, and as I already said, the going with the Swifty boots, and I don't know if that was just him not feeling comfortable with the Nautilus hooks, because I mean we saw a lot of plays coming out from Genshu, connecting and really forcing a lot down there. I mean it's an 0-3 bot lane right now, so maybe he was just opting for the safety and said he'll scale later. But I definitely agree, it's it's a little telling of the mentality of how they felt that lane was going for that item purchase, certainly. Now, we do see Corki sitting on 240 stacks on his Mana Moon. Should be coming online in a bit. Get that tier item stacked up. We see Tofu just kind of lingering around, but I don't think he wants any of that Mundo, especially sitting about 2k down at the moment. Now, we might see something here bot lane as the binding does miss from 7-Eleven. Instantly traded back on, and that Caitlyn damage is real. Massive damage coming out here now as White yeah, the Talon is now the focus. I'm not even trying to read that name here. And he will be going down as that Nautilus hook will connect by securing that kill there. Now they're looking at this bot lane tower, which you have to imagine will fall. Or maybe they just opt for the Infernal Drake. They know that the Victor is missing. They get a ward. They spotted him out. And Monster Penguin feeling real comfortable as the Valkyrie's still available. Throwing that damage out, and it's just, glides away, not getting hit by that gravity field. But now we see TBS collateral on the bot side of the map, Mundo going where he pleases, and the Sejuani will not be available. Jhin ult does come out, does connect, but it does not slow people down enough. DZG sneak the dragon right out from under Genesis' nose and say, hey, we got what we came for. All you're doing is wasting time, and Sejuani's, up there being able to, shore up that CS deficit, maybe get some damage onto that tower. Plates are no longer available, and I did not see if he got any, but does shore up that gold differential a little bit. So, well played there from DZG.
Yeah, it was definitely a great
Another
play.
hook comes out! 7-Eleven is not having fun. We do see a teleport coming out. You have to imagine that's from the Mundo. I think Genshu will be the sacrificial lamb here. It was not the Mundo, it was the Victor. Yeah, Genshu, sacrificial lamb. They forced the teleport out. Corki says, hey man, you did your job. I'm Valkyrieing out. They got the kill, forced the TP. Once again, DZG up with another heads-up play. Unfortunately, if you're a DZG fan, that kill going over to Victor is not ideal.
I agree. There's definitely some scaling involved, but I think the fact that Sejuani was able to free farm top lane and Mundo had to react, it definitely put Genesis in a deeper hole. Honestly, I think they just had to continue pushing the lead. I don't think they should have forced bot lane because it is their weakest lane. They should have sacked it and just honestly given an opportunity for Jhin and Lux to farm and stay away from this Nautilus hooks because apparently they're magnetized by it.
Yeah, the Swifty boots not making them fast enough as we now see 3 members of DZG going up here to get TBS collateral. The Glacial Prison will not connect as now Vi getting that damage out. Might opt to use the ultimate, does. Knocks him up in the air, and this is one tanky boy. Dr. Mundo just throwing cleavers, healing up, and they don't have any grievous wounds, so he might just take down Vi here as she's forced to use the Volt Breaker out. Damage will connect, and shutdown going over to Octofu, getting some rebounding gold there in his pocket to bring the deficit only down to 1.5. Now, the second Herald was picked up by the side of Genesis. We're now opting to use it bot lane and maybe get their Jhin back into the game. That gold will be split between the Jhin and the Lux, I believe, and also the Talon. So, not really boosting any one individual here, but the gold lead is still just sitting here at about 1.5k, and it's kind of been stagnant about that level for a little bit here. So Um, who do you feel is coming up aces? Uh, Silent.
Honestly, they used that Rift Herald great. They got a turret, but they didn't actually were able to utilize it um to use for an objective that was coming up. So it's kind of I felt like it was a waste. I feel like Genesis doesn't really have an idea of what they're doing or what they're trying to do.
Hmm.
I mean, they took the two top turrets, but then they started reacting, trying to help bot lane. It just seems like they're playing very reactive, while DZG is able to be proactive and make very aggressive plays.
Yeah, I like how you said that. DZG is playing proactive, and despite them being at the deficit the whole time, however, maybe a little bit of proactivity coming out now from the Talon, as he will get an insane amount of damage out here on Mobster Penguin's Corki. 3 members down here. The teleport will not be in time as Octofu comes down to just kind of look at the minion wave. He won't even be able to touch. 3 members of Genesis down on the bot side. The kill going over to the Talon it was. So Talon might be that damage threat that you really need to hold them over into the mid to late game. If he is able to deny the Caitlyn, that's going to be huge because right now Reels is the biggest threat in my opinion.
Yeah, and it was very unfortunate that Tofu TP'd. I get that he was trying to save his teammate, but that TP was a little bit too. Well, it looks like it won't matter too much since Mundo is backing off instead of trying to press his lead.
Yeah, and he just kind of pushing the wave into Corki, who's able to get that farm up. So if DZG probably feels pretty good about that, just saying, okay, cool, we'll just get the gold into our scaling lane. He does finish his tier item, starting to build into his second item now, and I do see the Vamp Scepter coming in, so I wonder if he's, concerned, and especially after getting absolutely eviscerated by that Talon in that last fight. Maybe he might be going for the shield bow. That's the word I was looking for. Shield bow. Might be going for the shield bow to really offer himself that protection. However, with it being nerfed in this patch, that is a little bit of a feels bad.
I agree. I'm kind of curious what Jin's gonna do with damage since usually Gale Force is something you want to do when you're already got a heavy lead. I feel like his positioning, he's got everything he needs. I'm almost expecting him to build Rapid Fire Cannon just to give him some more range at this moment, since he doesn't seem to care for
Ooh,
damage.
we do see the Glacial Person thrown and does not connect with the Talon. Tofu still running in, does get stunned up by the Jin here. Now we see Ginshu flash in for a hook, does not connect either. Two of the big engage tools for DZG just not landing, and the play just kind of fizzles out. Drake spawning in 10 seconds, and the side of Genesis definitely have the inside track. I think DZG just say, hey, we'll push mid lane. We didn't really get the connect that we want. We don't have the tools that we need. Let's just go ahead and take this tower, and I think that's a good call. Cloud Drake isn't that strong, in my opinion.
It definitely isn't that strong, but although it does take into account that it does offer slow resistances, so that Sejuani's slows won't be as impactful.
Certainly, so that does give them a little bit, but I mean, Sejuani needs to be able to connect with those glacial prisons for that Cloud Drake to really matter. Um, so, kind of going into it, Cloud Soul being the available option here, they're kind of stealing a little bit of the wind out of the sails from DZG by taking that away from them. But Monster Penguin going with the Valkyrie doesn't really get the knockback because Mundo had his passive available. Damage coming out, and that's going to be a lot as he is the focus, and he does fall. Unfortunately, Genshu picking up that kill. Nothing really going to come here from that as Baron is available, but I don't think they're going to go for it. Octofu just going back up to the top lane, and everybody just kind of farming out. So they did get a pick. It was on the Mundo, but it did go over to Genshu. So that is a little bit of a feels bad, but DZG, once again, being proactive. They had the Corki package available, and they opt to use it. And to good success, this gold lead is completely even, despite not having two Heralds, and despite losing first tower, first blood, and an amalgamation of other things. So I think DZG is looking very comfortable as we're pretty much transitioned now into the mid game.
It is going to be interesting to see if DZG is able to press the advantage due to the fact that Victor does scale properly along with the Lux with her low cooldown ult. I believe it's like 28 seconds depending on what her cooldown items are. So it is going to be interesting to see if DZG can push into that kind of wave clear.
Certainly. And now, correct me if I'm wrong, I haven't been playing it a little bit, but with preseason changes, Cloud Drakes no longer give ult reduction, correct?
I believe
Oh, we now see the play here as the damage just coming out from 7-Eleven. That damage from that Luxem ultimate you were talking about. DZG Heartbreak is DZG gone just in an instant, as I do believe the Lux was the one to pick up that kill. So just the amount of burst potential that the side of Genesis does have is insane.
I agree. It does look like there's going to be a fight bot lane.
Potentially, as no, maybe not. They're just kind of poking it out right now. But so going back to it, we talked about the Cloud Drake, right? Does not give ult reduction, correct?
I do not believe it gives. Let's see.
Okay, but it would just be really obnoxious if the side of Genesis was able to pick up a few more of those Lux ulting every 20 seconds, just like she was able to in the previous patch. So I'm personally glad that it's gone, because that would be really annoying to watch. But um, yeah, DZG going through here and just kind of clearing out vision and just farming up. Now, Reels really hasn't been able to do anything outside of lane phase. He has the 3 kills that he's been sitting out on. Did get a little bit of damage on that Mundo kind of obliteration in the mid lane with the traps layering and the headshots coming out. DZG rushing 4-man strong into the top side jungle. Corki does have teleport, the Unleash teleport available, as now a Little Enchanted just is completely eviscerated. They were there 1 second and then gone the next. Now, huge Lux Laser coming out. DZG Heartbreak sitting at half health. Now, TBS Collateral coming in on this Mundo, and he just does not care. Frontlining all day long, and just DZG not able to turn around and get any damage on. The damage that they get out on him is completely negligible. Now, Mobster Penguin looking a little bit of damage here as he will be forced to flash. Maybe we'll get away as this Victor is fast. He's going to be able to make it to safety, but that was an insane amount of damage coming out. And we almost saw 2 members on both sides get absolutely just deleted from the game. And I think that's just what we're going to be looking at all game. Anytime that there's an opportunity for a pick, if something connects, that person just dies. Now, Talon here looking like he's in a little bit of a position, forced to ultimate out now. Genshu looking for the hook, but does not see it. Tofu is now kind of facing into the Mundo. Parkour so annoying as he's able to get over that red wall. Red will be taken from the Talon as he's just able to hop over another wall and get to safety. DZG just kind of chasing after him and not really being able to do much here, as they're also now losing pressure heavily on the bot side of the map as well, with Victor just shoving in without a care.
It does appear that DZG is starting to become more reactive with Victor looking like they're trying to get every opportunity to farm on the opposite side to scale a little bit quicker into this game. Although I'm not sure how relevant they're going to be as long as DZG is able to group up, since it seems like Genesis is just avoiding any full team fight.
100% understood now. Oh no, DZG Reels is in a bad spot as Talon goes on. He flashes right next to Mundo. DZG Reels might be falling here. Somehow is still alive, but does eventually fall to the Gen as he did connect. Now Corki taking out the Talon. We're seeing some damage come out. TBS Collateral not that tanky now as Tofu does pick up that kill. Damage going out now as Gen was not able to flash over that wall. Victor coming in and clearing up here a little bit. Genshu does not want to step into that Chaos Storm. 3 members of DZG alive with the 2 remaining of Genesis. Just the Lux and the Victor available. DZG still sitting on their jungle, mid, and bot lane, and they might be looking here to go after this Drake. There is still a lot of zoning tools available as the Vi does flash in, gets on top of a little erect. Victor is taking damage and forced to flash, turning around with the lasers now as Mobster Penguin is kind of backing out. We have one hell of a dance here, but Vi is looking at it again, does go ahead and Vault Breaker over the wall, but the Victor is able to get the kill onto the Corki. Now DZG Heartbreak in the 1v1 situation here with a Victor. The damage here is annoying, but it will connect with another Vault Breaker. The CC is going to be enough as Victor is fast. Genshu not in a position to be able to help his teammates here. So overall, it was a 4 for 3 trade. Sorry, it was a 4 for 5 trade in the favor of DZG. I'm sorry, 4 for 3 at the end of the day. We now see the Wuva being taken out here. They're still fighting over this. Now, the Talon going in, trying to get this damage on DZG Reels, but he does not die. Just kidding. Jin ult does connect with the 4-shot. Damage coming out now onto DZG Heartbreak, who was forced to go golden with the stopwatch. TBS Collateral there waiting to pick up that kill and does get it. A little erect being forced down by the Sejuani, who just does not have the damage. Looking to go over the wall, but does not see the opportunity down. 4 members of Genesis still alive, down to the 2 members of DZG alive, and that Drake will fall in favor of Genesis.
It does appear that DZG is starting to force things. After that entire fight, they did come out ahead. Honestly, like you mentioned earlier, this Cloud Drake isn't really worth fighting for. After they got those kills, they should have just continued farming and got an objective, maybe get top lane. I wouldn't have forced that fight near Dragon anymore.
I understand, but I also understand the frustration that DZG must be feeling. They have the Lux bindings coming out to just offer an insane amount of annoyance. They have the Talon just parkouring around the map looking for picks, and, you know, often finding them. I really honestly don't know how Real survived as long as he did by face checking a Talon. That was impressive to me. But, you know, that's something you got to be cognizant of. So I think they saw the opportunity for a normal team fight or something resembling it, and they just wanted to opt into it. Maybe I'm just psychoanalyzing here, but, you know, I can't understand that frustration in that situation. It's like, hey, we have them where we want them, maybe, and they just went for it. I don't know what happened against you and his avenues of approach there in that fight, but I think if he was there, he would have been able to save Monster Penguin, and everything would have looked a lot differently.
Yeah, it does appear that they're trying to get more of a lead for this Victor, so I'm kind of worried that the scaling is actually starting to go in favor of Genesis, especially since Lux can buy that time with that Lux ult.
Right? And we're seeing a 70 CS deficit here on the side of the bot lane. We see Jin sitting at just 400 gold short of the Caitlyn now. And he's able to be so much more effective because he doesn't have to worry about the threats that the side of Genesis have, right? So he doesn't have to worry about a Talon. He doesn't have to worry about a Victor. He's able to sit, you know, all the way back in Narnia and just do what he does. Now, we do have a pause coming in. AD carry is lagging. We will hang tight just here a little bit. Hopefully, we will not run into the pause bug. I will be looking to check my DMs on Discord to see if they do go back live into the game here in a little bit. But game state right now, how are you feeling?
I'm starting to think it was heavily leaning on the side of DZG, especially since they had an opportunity to use their ults to kind of make the engages, but now they're kind of reacting to these split pushes that either Mundo or Victor on the sides. Honestly, I feel like if they would just go in and pick off this with the Sejuani, with the Nauls hook, just pick this Lux, I feel like they could just run down mid and simply end the game instead of trying to react to these side lane pushes. Victor and Mundo will not be able to react, and the game just started again. So luckily for us, there's no spectator. Oh, spoke too soon. We'll see how long the spectator bug lasts for. Sorry about that. Did have a little bit of a cough to handle. But we are just seeing things kind of fizzle out and kind of going back to just, you know, the farming game. Um, and, you know, maybe the Nash will be what breaks the camel's back. Maybe they'll look for something in here. But Tofu is not in a position to really win this solo lane. He needs to be with his team. They need that golden 5v5 opportunity to get the full use out of that Sejuani. So it's definitely going to be interesting, to say the least, to see what's going to be the next point of contention. And I hope it's the Snash for DCG. Alright, we are seeing just kind of the jockeying here for the Vision Dance. Tofu's still sticking around on the bot side with that Unleashed Teleport. Unfortunately, Unleashed Teleport's not being very friendly, and we can't actually see the icons on the spectate mode for the sake of viewer. But oh no, a little erect might be out of position here as members of DZG are up here. The Vi ultimate does come down. Damage will connect. That is going to be a lot of damage coming down for the Chaos Storm, but it will not be enough as Talon is now here looking for DZG reels as they do not have any peel for him. Just kidding. Nautilus ult does come out, does connect, and Mobster Penguin will get the kill on the Talon. Vi now fighting two members of Genesis by themselves, and it will not be enough as that Cleaver does connect. Gets a lot of damage out here. Lux now
gets the binding out, and DZG members are now forced to retreat. Their health bar is looking very low as Mundo just goes where he pleases, connecting, and does kill Genshu. Now, flashes forward, does not connect with that cleaver, and you have to think that this play fizzles out, but it's 2 members dead on either side here. And I feel like just the fact that they have the tempo advantage coming off of this, that the side of Genesis came up in favor there. Verb, or Silent, what do you think?
Yeah, it definitely came in favor of Genesis. I'm kind of worried that they're trying to pick off these sides instead of just picking off this Lux. Honestly, the Lux is the biggest problem. Don't see anyone else being a problem for them. Victor just wants the side lane and just push waves. Honestly, picking this Lux is the one that you need the most in order to start winning team fights.
Yeah, certainly. And this Lux is just able to play artillery. It almost looks like a Xerath going in. Now, we're seeing a split call here. DZG is looking for this Nash, and the side of Genesis is looking instead for the Drake. Talon is going up. The package will not really do anything here, as they maybe are just using it for a zoning tool. They're trying to burn this objective, and I think they have to get it here, because Talon was not in the right position. 2 members of DZG looking to go back out of the pit. 5 forced to use the flash. Talon might be here looking for something. I don't know if he'll be able to connect, but I think DZG, maybe I spoke too soon. Valkyrie does come out. Mobster Penguin will be the focus here. A lot of damage going out here. Tofu stepping up to be able to defend his teammates. Somebody may die here. Cleavers will connect. Tofu might be the sacrificial lamb, but does connect with the Glacial Prison. DZG looking like thieves as they take a robbery of that Nash objective straight out from under the noses of Genesis. Well played, DZG. And the side of Genesis didn't even get the dragon that they were in the posture to try and take in the first place.
It does look like they're going to try to force a fight with their, even though they have Baron, it does look like they're trying to contest this dragon. So hopefully not too many of these EG die in this attempt.
Right, and, losing those Baron buffs is going to be pretty detrimental here. We see Tofu flashing forward. The Dragon does already get picked up by Talon. TBS Collateral will be in the front line, and it looks like they want to retreat. He no longer has his passive damage coming out. Lux does not offer enough damage. Shutdown going over to DZG Heartbreak, as now it looks like they may be forcing into the mid lane here. They don't have the front line advantage of the Mundo, who has been so instrumental in them being able to really win these team fights, being offered to soak up that damage. This mid lane tower has to fall. And do they push for more? Potentially. Tofu does go out, misses with the Glacial Prison, does not connect. As we do see Talon waiting in the wings here. Don't think they'll go anything for it, as DZG says, hey, we got the tower, and they take the gold lead here. Silent.
Well, it's great that they have the gold lead, but honestly, 1 turret for a Baron. Honestly, I hope they are able to get some more out of this Baron, just because the scaling from Victor and the ability of Lux to wave clear is starting to look in favor. I mean, Jin is actually relevant again, and he actually did do the rapid fire cannon. It does look like now he's going for an IE, so that Jin is going to ramp up his damage shortly.
Yeah, he's no longer going for the super defensive item. I think he's put on his dancing shoes. He got everything he needed to try to tango with the side of DZG. I was expecting maybe he'd go for a Guardian Angel, maybe a stopwatch, the way he was building earlier. But I guess you can't build Gale Force and Protobelt on the same champion, so maybe he was stopped a little bit there. But yeah, no, he's definitely a threat coming into this game. And you do also see the Talon setting on the Knight's Edge as well. So that's really going to help him not get hit with a Vi ultimate, maybe a Vi Facebreaker, maybe getting hit with the Nautilus hooks or the Glacial Prison. So Talon feeling pretty comfortable going into some of these plays and not really being too concerned about sitting on the wings and getting picked if he is in vision. Caitlyn ultimate does come out and does not look like it did any damage there. But Talon waiting on the wings here. DZG do not have all 5 members here in position. Because you do see the Tofu and TBS Collateral sitting in that side wave. Now Vi going in, face checking will get bursted up a little bit, but it will not be enough. The teleport now coming in from Sejuani. Mundo will not be answering. Octofu pretty much not getting anything out of that. Mundo should get that bot lane tower, as I think DZG Heartbreak forced to return, but that will be that tower going down in favor of Mundo. And yeah, I just think them losing the teleport advantage there is not something you wanted to see if you're a fan of DZG or Silent. Now, recall's coming through. Glacial Prison will connect. Damage coming out, but it will not be enough as Reels does look for the damage. DZG Heartbreak getting focused and will take a lot of damage, but will it be enough? Guardian Angel will be popped. Talon still living as damage comes out. TBS Collateral joining this fight. Octofu, half health. TBS Collateral sitting on the front line, taking up a lot of damage. Sitting only at half health now as the damage is trying to come out. He is so tanky. A lot of damage going out as Jin does get eviscerated here. Damage now going on to DZG Reels. He is picked off by Talon. Talon will now fall to the Vi. Members of Genesis are sitting very low. DZG health bars looking low as well, but they are playing aggressively. We are seeing that Nautilus ult come out. Does connect with TBS Collateral, who lives with a sliver of health, but it doesn't matter. Monster Penguin going on a killer spree, picking up the Lux. Corki will fall to the victor, but it does look like it is an ace with DZG Heartbreak picking up the last kill there. And, wasn't clean, but 3 members of DZG living for the first team fight that really felt like it went their way. Silent, that is what you want to see if you're a DZG fan.
Yeah, it was honestly surprising that they did come out so far ahead, especially since Ginchu had backed all the way and Window was able to participate in a 5v4 fight, but DZG managed to do a tactical retreat and actually allow Ginchu to kind of join the fight. Although it's going to be interesting to see if the next objective, since they roughly have the same timer, will DZG choose that Baron again, or will they try to deny that dragon even though it is a Cloud Soul?
Yeah, and that is the saving grace here for the side of Genesis. They have the pressure. They can give up a Cloud Drake and not care. Giving up a Nash, not so much. So in DZG, do they want to give up a Soul? Because, offering some of that movement speed. Victor is already fast with the Phase Rush. Imagine giving him the speed from the Cloud Soul. Or, the Talon, or the Mundo. Like, all 3 of them benefit extremely from that Cloud Soul movement speed. DZG now have full jockey position, so it does look like they want to look for this Cloud Drake and deny it from the side of Genesis. The package is available, and that package has been doing some work in some situations, so if you're the side of Genesis, you should be respectful. We do see the teleport coming in. I imagine that has to be the victor. Shouldn't be anybody else. Jin Curtain Call coming down. Will connect here with a few members of DZG, maybe setting up the side of Genesis here for the fight they want. Talon forced to use the ultimate and parkour out of the wall as the Drake is started up here now by the side of the Genesis. Corki, Valkyrie's in, Valkyrie's back out, utilizing the package. Damage really not doing anything here as the Dragon will continue to burn. DZG Heartbreak looks to go in, but now we do see that Genshu locked up will be taken down. Monster Penguin getting run down by the Mundo, who is going where he pleases. Still 5 members on the side of Genesis alive as the fight will continue to unfold. The Talon in a dangerous position as the Lux will actually pick up the kill on Reels, who did manage to pick up the victor before, but the Jin taking down Corki. These health bars looking low. Tofu falls. Heartbreak, the last man standing, as that is an ace coming in from the side of Genesis, and they will secure this soul. And you have to imagine they run immediately up for that Nash as well. Everything coming up here now for the side of Genesis. They had the pressure. DZG forced to answer, and it did not go in their favor. Lux ulting for the mid wave will clear out that, give them a lot of that pressure, as they will now turn their focuses onto the Nash.
It does look like the scaling is finally heavily in favor of Genesis. It was interesting to see how DZG Heartbreak was stuck inside the Dragon Pit and did not ult a little bit earlier into that team fight. I think it was impactful the fact that Talon was able to buy some time for his team to kind of react to it, and DZG kind of is starting to look like they're starting to lose their proactiveness and starting to just react to what Genesis wants them to do.
Certainly, White Armor Fanboy in that fight did so much for his team. He was initially looked like he was caught out, but popped the ultimate, able to parkour over a wall, and not only did he really split the focus of DZG, but then he also was able to provide such a backline threat that DZG had to keep in the mind the whole entire time that they took that fight. And then he was able to turn around and offer so much damage that really allowed 7-Eleven to go ahead and pick up the rest of the damage needed to secure some of those crucial kills, especially on that Caitlyn.
Unfortunately, we still cannot see the TPs with the Unleashed teleport, so we'll see if any of them will make some critical plays with split push, but it looks like Genesis is in favor of taking a 5-man and running straight down.
Oh, they were barreling straight down mid here as White Armor Fanboy is forced to pop the ultimate again. TBS Collateral just sitting on the front line, throwing cleavers, not giving a care in the world. DZG Reels will take the Lux Laser to the face, sitting half health. DZG health bars not looking in their favor as, the Baron Cannon, I always hate saying that, will just do the work for them, take the tower, and they're maybe looking in to crack open this base. Heartbreak sitting on the side, but I don't know if it will be enough. Tower will start taking heavy damage here from the side of the Jin, the Victor, and just the entire side of Genesis as the inhib will fall. Base has been officially cracked. So, Silent, what does DZG need to do to come back into this game?
They honestly need to pick fights that they can win. At the moment, it's getting a little bit harder since Victor has been allowed to scale. DZG needed to be more proactive earlier to kind of force, especially when that Talon tried to force that fight with the Mundo down in bot lane, and it was literally only Jin and Lux mid lane instead. Right now, it's starting to look more in favor of Genesis. DZG is going to require a pick, and they're gonna need that Baron buff to kind of go away and potentially win that Elder Drake. That Elder Drake is critical of who is going to win this game.
Certainly, Genesis not even caring about minion wave. They just say Mundo, tank tower. Mundo takes tower and doesn't look like he took any damage for it. The ultimate coming in from Genshu now as we see the stun coming out. What a literal wreck. 2 is forced to go golden. Chaos Storm doing absolute work as TBS Cloudder will pick up the kill on Rails. Tofu will fall. Mobster Penguin, you imagine, will be next. This Cleaver's coming out, but it might be Genshu first. The kill's coming in now. The disconnect's coming in, and DZG will be falling in this game 1 versus Genesis. And wow, that would just... the Mundo coming online and really just being that absolute monster of a threat. And DZG just kind of not being able to take those team fights that they needed. Talon being able to duck, dive, dip, dodge, and dive all throughout the fight, really just sowing chaos. And DZG just looked a little scattered there, Silent.
Yeah, they definitely did. Unfortunately, the scaling was allowed to happen, and they weren't able to end this game earlier when they had the lead.
Certainly. So I do want to see some of these damage graphs coming in here now, and I imagine I'm not going to be too terribly surprised as... wow, actually, I stand corrected. Mundo coming in with the most damage for the side of Genesis. And Corki just, had a lot of damage, but it just feels like Caitlyn was never able to utilize the lead that they generated in the bot lane there. Mundo was just so much more effective with the lead that he was able to be given. And just, I said in draft, I need to see some frontline, and they got the Mundo, and holy hell, was he the frontline that Genesis needed. Silent.
I agree. It's going to be interesting to see if either that Lux or Victor will manage to make it to the next ban phase, simply due to the fact of the time that they were allowed to buy with Victor scaling and Lux able to buy that time for Victor.
Hmm. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be bringing you Game 2 here shortly, and we'll take a quick break and be back with the draft for Game 2 in just a moment. Okay, I lied. We are actually back with the draft immediately. So, spectate delay not doing us any favors here, as I guess both teams were immediately able to dive right back into the fray. We see Victor coming out from the side of DZG being that first pick, and Genesis opting to take away that Caitlyn. We do see Talon going bye bye. We see Lux going bye bye. And do you feel like these adaptations here from the side of DZG are what they need?
I honestly do think that they are the adaptations, but there are similar champs that they can run like the Talon. Um, so it's gonna be interesting to see are these adaptations really? I haven't had a chance to look at Genesis champ pool to see if these adaptations will actually affect them at all.
Well, I mean, I think taking away Talon was a fantastic choice because not only do I think that it gave them a lot of mileage in the game itself, but the fact that when they were blue side, they first picked it, knowing that it could potentially be a flex. Like I said, I haven't looked at the champion pools from the side of Genesis myself, but they felt comfortable first picking it. Definitely taking it away as an option for them, I feel, is a very smart adaptation here. Coming in from the side of DZG Olympus, so. Uh, we see the Thresh coming in with the Zig, so instead of going with the traditional AD carry, they're looking more for that caster role. Mundo coming in again, and I think, hey, run it back. It did so much work. What do you think now that DZG should take into that top lane? Because I don't know if Sejuani was the answer.
So It does seem like an Ornn is an opportunity here again because it adds to scaling of Victor, and as long as with how long that game went, if they can buy him the same amount of time for it, it'll be in their favor with the Zig bombs, the Victor, and then Ornn's items adding to it. Window can't really punish Ornn at all either, so it's going to be interesting to see if they're going to go with that route instead of
Ooh.
um the Sejuani pick again.
Well, we do see the Trundle band coming out from the side of Genesis. This may flag that they want to go with the Sejuani themselves, since they are the next to pick. Corki taking off the table, so Genesis does not have the option to run that back. So we will be seeing a different matchup here in the mid lane. It will not be a mirror matchup coming out from the side of Genesis picking up that Corki into the Victor. So last band coming in Sejuani. So maybe Aiden's sitting here thinking the exact same thing that I thought. The Trundle band signifies that you might want to go Sejuani. That or it was excellent mind games from the side of Genesis here, as now they might have to look for a different red side pick.
We'll see
And
shortly what Genesis wants to blind.
right, well, they don't necessarily have to blind. They know the mid lane matchup, and they will opt maybe for the LeBlanc here, which um, they do end up going for. How do you feel about that mid lane matchup there, Silent?
I feel that if that LeBlanc is a really good LeBlanc, I think Victor's in trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Victor still has a scaling potential, but I mean, once again, offering that assassin element into the game, it's coming from a different player here, so we won't see it coming in from White Armor Fanboy. Um, but offering that assassin element did them a lot of justice there in game one. Now opting for the Ornn in the top lane here, going into that Mundo. Holy hell, Silent! I was not expecting a Master Yi. What do you think?
I I'm honestly I feel like the Yi pick is very interesting because the amount of CC that is available from the Karma and the Poppy, unless DZG Heartbreak is able to play lights out, it's going to be hard for him to kind of join the fight.
Well, I think DZG Heartbreak had a lot of good plays. Some were a little bit of questionable, like his positioning. Poppy does come out and does prevent the Ornn from doing a little bit of what Ornn wants to do here. I imagine that's going to be going into the jungle here, um, for the side of uh, Genesis. But that is definitely an interesting turn of events, for sure. Huh.
Um, uh, which team do you think is in favor this
Uh,
time?
I don't know. The Yi is such a wild card to me. Um, I like Poppy's zone denial for the Ornn. However, outside of the Ornn, I don't know how useful that pick is going to be for the side of Genesis. Now, it has the option of the disengage with the hammer. I just feel like you want a lot more dashes if you're picking the Poppy. You're not really going to stop the Master Yi. Karma's going to have to always use the tether for the Yi. Um, and hopefully is able to secure it. Well, LeBlanc hits her chains, but I feel like if you're LeBlanc and you hit your chains on Yi, Yi is like, okay, cool, we're just gonna alpha strike onto your face and ruin your day. So, the point and click CC is available, but I don't know. I feel like it works in this situation. I feel like Neebs is an absolute madman, or maybe Aiden's an absolute madman for letting him do it. But it's gonna be exciting to watch, to say the absolute least.
Yeah, it looks like we're in for a banger.
DCG bangers, according to Neebs. Um, but yeah, so we do see that Mundo going into the top side as expected. Poppy does get slotted into the jungle position. I did not expect that to go differently. Um, and yeah, I just don't think there's going to be any surprises here. So I gave my 2 cents, and unfortunately, it was such a lawyer answer. It's like it depends. But how are you feeling about this draft for either side?
I feel like DZG has an easier comp to pull off just because they have that front to back. While Genesis wants to kind of have that LeBlanc kind of run like that Talon that they had previously, where they just kind of flank and assassinate and quickly go back to farming. Um, but I mean, in general, both these teams really want to team fight, so we're going to look for some epic team fight soon.
I'm hoping to see it as well. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take you into that 3 minute spectator delay. Hopefully, everything comes out a little bit more clean as we get rolling into this, but we'll see you here in 3 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back bringing you Game 2 of DZG Olympus versus Genesis. I need to actually make a quick change here to the team names, but I'll do that here in a second. Um, Anything that you're seeing here that catches you off guard, Silent?
Honestly, I was hoping to see Ziggs with a TP instead of a heal. Honestly, I think him being able to get that map pressure to get turrets down early would have been really impactful
Hmm.
instead of a heal. But they are facing a no heal bot lane, so it'll be interesting to see who wins. And then LeBlanc is also not running TP, which means that Victor will have his ability to side lane, whereas LeBlanc either will have to make a pick or have to walk to join the team.
Well, they're sitting here, 4 members strong, right on top of the board. They're gonna go in and get this vision here, but I don't know. Yep, Mundo going immediately back into the top side and said, "Oh, you get vision? I get vision." So real quick, I know we talked a lot about this in the draft, but I just had to. I had to reach out to the coach of DZG Olympus and ask him his thoughts on this E, and he essentially said, well, if we don't pick a tank killer, we lose. So we picked a tank killer, and now we're going to pray. And we kind of talked about it. The point-and-click CC is the karma. Um, and she's forced to use that tether almost every single time on the Yi, and I think Yi can actually Alpha Strike and break it. Seeing a little bit of a cheeky level 1 here as Kinshu will be chunked down to half health from that karma. excuse me, Karma and Caitlyn poke, but, you know, I don't know how aggressive Ginshu and Reels are going to be wanting to look here in this early lane anyway.
I think their bot lane for Genesis has a lot of poke, so I think it's actually in favor of Genesis. It does seem like a lot is going to hang on the balance for this Master Yi. If this Yi can get ahead, it doesn't matter what anything else happens, but I am surprised to hear that they needed a tank killer since they did have the Ziggs and a Victor, which honestly, with Leandries, can just burn a tank out.
Certainly. Now, it's going to be really interesting to see what this Poppy needs to do, because in my brain, the pick is literally meant to sit on top of the Ornn and prevent him from using the Ornn horn. Which could deny, holy hell, we have a pick coming out, or I'm sorry, a hook coming out here, as a Little Enchanted is forced to flash, and it's not enough, as the Ignite will tick down, and I do the last little bit of damage. Ginshu will take down a Little Enchanted, Caitlyn first to fall. DZG's bot lane, once again, just styling on the bot side of Genesis here.
It does seem like Genesis bot lane has their kryptonite is literally hooks.
Well, I don't think a Caitlyn will be going for Swifty Boots this early, but I might be wrong. Tofu not taking favorable trades here, as Mundo is just going where he pleases, hits the cleavers, and you hate to see it. TBS Collateral picks up a solo kill yet again on Octofu.
Well, top lane is definitely going to be in favor. I guess we're just gonna hope for this late scaling so that Tofu can be relevant.
So we saw it before. It seems like the same story, right? It's going to be Tofu playing weak side, and the bot lane really being strong here for DZG. Now, Caitlyn wasn't necessarily able to pop off too much when it was piloted by DZG Reels last game, just because of that threat of the Talon heroes. Now we're seeing White Armor Fanboy getting focused a little bit. I don't see who actually picked up that scuttle. I think it was DZG Heartbreak, because Poppy is looking to get a little bit of a redemption here. And Little Erect does not actually connect here, and that was actually the scuttle going over to DZG Heartbreak. Feeling really cheeky with that Alpha Strike, but hey, if you're DZG, you love to see you doing good things early. Now, it might feel a little bad if you're the side of DZG, because you're probably not going to get any love for your jungle for like a day and a half, because he does Yi things. But Yi going in onto Poppy here, and Octofu is here as well, gets the knockup. Now, White Armor Fanboy will fall. DZG Heartbreak will secure that kill. Gold going over to this Yi early has to feel damn good on the side of DZG.
Yeah, as long as this Yi can continuously get these kills and these gold, I think it's actually a great thing, especially since they're dependent on Yi to provide that AD damage.
Certainly, and Victor's looking really comfortable in this LeBlanc. Just pop the passive here, and you know, right now, just ignoring top lane, DZG are feeling really comfortable, or should be feeling really comfortable, because it's not even 5 minutes of the game, and they're sitting here on a 1.3k gold lead. Now, DZG Heartbreak is up here. Octofu would get the knockup damage coming out. The tank killer might be get it, but it does actually go over to Octofu, taking out TBS Collateral damage now coming out of the Poppy, but you can't imagine that they'll actually go for any more here. The tower, I'm sorry, not the tower. The minion wave will crash into tower, and DZG not looking for anything too cheeky, as TBS Collateral's teleport will follow up. The tank killer is killing tanks here, Silent.
Honestly, it's a great thing to see Yi. I feel like I haven't seen it that often, especially in competitive. So it's kind of nice to see that Yi finally gets to play.
I think we had a jungle at one point that were always trying to run Yi, and then it was like always super Feast or Famine. LeBlanc looking in for the kill, will get the next distortion in, but it will not be enough, as I think that was the second tick of that laser, just taking down a Little Erect, who will fall on this LeBlanc. Lobster Penguin coming up big with a solo kill there.
I guess he just wasn't erect enough.
Not hard enough. Needs to go a little harder. DZG now not taking the super best trades here in the bot lane, but it's an 8 CS advantage and a kill up. Unfortunately, the kill going over to Genshu on that fresh, not ideal, but DZG, 2k gold ahead, 6 minutes in. I think last game might have been a fluke, especially for the early game, but it's too early to tell. Now, Tofu, I think he's doing the right thing. I just think he needs to farm up. If he has friends, then he can do something. But hey, man, you're Ornn. You play weak side. You give people little trinkets, make them happy when you hit level 14. Other than that, man, just chill and farm. I think that is the way he needs to play this.
That is exactly how he needs to play it, and if he takes any more cleavers, we're gonna have Tofu run some window dodgeball soon.
Yeah, put him in the Nash pit. This isn't Arby's, and he is getting his meat chopped to hell. So he needs to play a little bit more respect, because I don't think he's gonna win the solo trades. Personally, I know that Ornn can do a lot of damage with the brittle, but Mundo just doesn't seem to care, unfortunately. And I mean, looking at it with the gold deficit here, he's still down just 400 gold. I mean, he's able to buy his items in lane, which is nice, but he's going for the tier option. He went for boots. Mundo just has the fighting stats right now that you just need to be a little careful of.
Yeah, and both junglers are on top side, so it looks like Caitlyn and Karma are not going to receive any relief from their turret.
No, certainly, and the Zig's just throwing bomb after bomb after bomb. So, it's always one of those annoying things that, you'll be playing in a position, playing top or whatever, and you feel really good about what you do, and then you're like, oh, my Zig's tripled my damage, and you just threw bombs everywhere. Like, super unfortunate. But I mean, that's just the nature of casters in this game. The damage output that they have is absolutely insane. Well, Tofu not taking my advice and opting in here into the fight. The Mundo ult is popped, and he's regenerating so much. Tofu now looking to be the loser of this trade, as Mundo's going to regen up. Just kidding, Tank Killer is here. Heartbreak going on to TBS Collateral, but popped up and just eviscerated as Heartbreak just got deleted from Summoner's Rift here, Silent.
Well, this is going to be interesting to see if they're still going to heavily emphasize top lane. I feel like you normally just want to leave Ornn alone and just try to get the other lanes ahead. That dragon hasn't been contested at all, which is surprising, since usually Yi has an opportunity since bot lane has been pushed. Mid lane's kind of been even. I honestly would have just told Tofu, hang tight. Cool, I'll see you at level 14.
No. Okay, he doesn't have flash available. I don't think Mundo's gonna do dirty things, but yeah, maybe they're just trying to avoid the win condition that Genesis had game 1. Maybe they're saying, hey, let's help Tofu out, and maybe they say, hey, you know what, maybe that's not a good idea, as they do go for that trick that you were just talking about. DZG has the bot lane here. Mid lane, they don't have Prio, but LeBlanc just back, so I think they'll be fine. Free Drake going over to the side of DZG, and they're still sitting on a 1k lead. Now, once again, we're seeing the Herald trade here, and where do you think White Armor Fanboy should drop this? Do you think top is the play again, especially since first tower is definitely on the table as an option?
They would try to push it top, but at the same time, Window doesn't have TP, and he's also have maybe about a quarter to half health, so I'm not sure if releasing it top is going to be effective, but
his ultimate will be back up soon, giving him a fuck ton of health regen available as an option, as we do see White Armor Fanboy just opting to take the recall here. Might not look for anything, and they just might be resetting as a whole. Trade once again coming out a little wrecked, maybe looking a little harder this time, and just takes Monster down to half health and distorts back to the previous spot. So nothing too crazy going there, but those little trades definitely feel good if you're the LeBlanc.
yeah, unfortunately, since Victor is not a flex for DZG, it kind of made it simple for Genesis to figure out where it's going.
Right, they picked the Ziggs and the Victor pretty close together, so it's not too much chaos and confusion there. But I think it was probably the smart move. I think that if you didn't pick the Victor, then the side of Genesis would definitely pick it up. They felt really comfortable about that pick. Now they're forcing a little Erect onto something completely different champion identity here. So we'll definitely see how that pans out in late game. Tofu gets the knock up here, and definitely running away from those cleavers. He not all about the meat. And so we talked about it last game, what we thought was going to be the big game-breaking play, like what was going to really open up the game. And honestly, I don't feel like anything really significant happened. As Genshu does go in, flash, nothing happens. Gets the flash from 7-Eleven, I think also from a little Enchanted as well. So one flash for 2, I think that's worth if you're the side of DZG.
Yeah, with the Glacial Augment on Thresh, I was honestly surprised there wasn't a Hextech flash.
Tofu knows
well.
that he needs to get out Now he pops the W, does not get knocked into the wall. I don't know if it had the distance to stun, as we do see a little erect heading to the top side as well. The Herald will pop with Demolish. You have to think that this tower will fall. First tower, once again, going over to the Mundo on the side of Genesis. Oh, we might have a tower dive here as the hook does not connect. Genshu looking, might go for the flay, but does not opt to. Does not want to take that tower aggro. And he will actually just take a lot of damage. Will fall to the ignite. Mobster Penguin will shut down Poppy as now the damage coming out here. Tofu is looking to kill Mundo. Will Mundo have enough health to survive as he actually misses that cleaver? Damage coming out, tick, tick, and boom! TBS collateral falls to Octofu. 2 for 1 in the top side, but we did lose one member of DZG and the bot side on that play. Mobster Penguin, I apologize, did die as well, so 2 for 2 overall.
But luckily, Victor did get those 2 assists, so he is going to get his augments a little bit earlier.
Yeah, certainly. And I believe it was the Karma getting the gold on that, so that's not a great feel for the side of Genesis. But hey, gold's evened up now, and they were sitting at a 2k deficit, so they're definitely trying to put themselves back in the driver's seat. DZG Heartbreak stealing red buff there from Poppy and maybe breaking her heart, as she just does not own parts of her jungle whenever DZG Heartbreak says so. And the scaling is what I'm really excited to see. Doesn't have Mythic yet. He's not really a tank killer yet. Late game E is going to be an absolute abomination. And I don't know if I want to support it or not, Silent.
Honestly, I'm just paying attention to see how comfortable this Ziggs is, because he still has his 2 wards. So it feels like he's just getting poked out and is unable to play to a comfortability.
Perhaps. And, you know, later in the game, he should have a lot more comfort to be able to just kind of be artillery. Kind of like the members of Genesis were last game with the Lux and the Jhin. And hopefully that's what they need to be able to really establish things. But I really want to see some of these fights break out. I want to see what the side of DZG is able to do with the champions are piloting. And also how Genesis is going to be able to react and utilize their tools as well. Because once again, Mundo's sitting pretty healthy, sitting 1k ahead of his late opponent yet again. So we shall see. A little erect looking from Mobster Penguin. The members of DZG are here to respond. Hook goes out, does not connect. One member of Genesis here, as Genshu is just kind of dancing, and looks like the NAA ramp is in full swing.
Yeah, everyone wants a piece of this dragon.
And it is started up on the side of Genesis here. DZG looking to dance around a little bit. A little Enchanted is took a lot of damage here from DZG Reels' Ziggs. So the dance is now sitting, I'd have to say, in the favor of DZG, especially after they secure that Scuttlecrab. They're looking to go on it, put the damage in, and I think Drake 2 will be DZG's. Almost uncontested.
Are we looking at another Cloud?
Oh, we're looking at another Cloud Drake, indeed. So
That'll be interesting.
Huh?
I said we were hoping to get one of those interesting Drakes, but unfortunately Hextech was the first one and Chemtech was the second one.
Yay, so exciting. As, oh no, Mobster Penguin might be in a little bit of trouble. Chaos Storm comes down, but will not be able to kill the actual LeBlanc. White Armor Fanboy here in the mid lane will pick up the kill, and that is evening up the scoreboard when it comes down to kills. Goldleaf's still in a little bit of favor of DZG, but that mid lane pressure feels real good, as Mobster Penguin just did not see that coming.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that this Victor is unable to build his lead. He honestly has rotated top, ended up dying, pushed mid, ended up dying. It just seems like they're not generating enough pressure or saving him enough to kind of like create pressure so that he can scale a little bit faster. Ornn, however, is level 10, so soon he will be able to start building items for his teammates.
Yeah, soon those ornaments coming online should be a benefit. Now, can you please do me a favor and explain to me, how in the ever-loving hell does Tofu have a bounty?
He managed that 2 kills top lane earlier.
The bounty system just does not make sense to me at all. Oh, I'm 1,000 gold down from my opponent. I better be worth more. Like, what? White Armor Fanboy now being focused by DZG Heartbreak. Horn will come through, will connect, as DZG Heartbreak will take down White Armor Fanboy. They turn their sights now onto the Rift Herald. It does not look like anybody from the side of Genesis will be here to contest. That objective will fall, and I wonder how they're going to use it.
I mean, they just use Ornn's ult, so I imagine that they're just going to reset and try to buy some time. Hopefully they don't just use it top lane.
Right. And, you know, that was a great position for Tofu to be in. He didn't have to worry about the Poppy W to really interrupt his Horn. He provided DZG Heartbreak the assistication that he needed to really be able to do stuff there. And, you know, DZG Heartbreak sitting on this Herald and might just be looking to farm up, as Master Yi's are wont to do. Looks like we had a little bit of a pause there, but did not show up on our stream, which is very nice. Hook comes in, damage coming out, a little Enchanted getting a little blown up, as the damage will come through. DZG Reels does pick up the kill. I think that was Karma's Flash as well. DZG bot lane doing it yet again.
Yep. I'm honestly surprised that Genesis's bot lane has not gotten used to hooks yet.
No, not at all. It seems that they might not be able to fare too well into him, and I mean, he can't really waste bans on him either, so if it does go to a game 3... Oh no, Mobster Penguin is in a little bit of trouble here as White Armor Fanboy is behind. Chaos Storm will come down. Will the phase rush speed be enough? And I think it might be DZG Heartbreak saying, I'm going for it. He goes, does Yi things, Alpha strikes under tower, White Armor Fanboy. I think that's his third death here. Mudu now here in a position to fight. Does a lot of damage, Alpha strike coming in. It's going to be a lot of damage. We talked about that tank killer shredded the Mundo. Sitting now about 30% health, maybe less, as now Genshu goes, flash, hooks, connects. Will that be enough damage? The tower does fall. The ultimate comes in. 7-11, you have to imagine, will die here, is able to still survive somehow. And DZG get the tower, but do not get the kill. A little wreck going in with the double distortion does connect. Takes down Mobster Penguin. Action all over the map is now DZG, Octofu goes up against TBS Collateral. Will not actually be a fatal fight. Ornhorn was available. He opted not to use it. But now, you see, DZG Heartbreak going up here onto the top side of the map. You have to imagine they're looking for the dive. Ornhorn comes in, does connect. He is a moon. Will he actually connect? It does not matter. Ornn takes tower. DZG Heartbreak goes on a killing spree. Top tower will fall. DZG just making plays across the map. Goldlead now sitting at 4K.
Honestly, Tofu's definitely taking advantage of how many turret hits an Ornn can take, because he almost took all of them.
Yeah, that was quite a bit. It was like, hey, do you want to break this up with an Alpha Strike? He was like, nah, man, I got him. We're good. But no, this is definitely a stark difference from what we're seeing from game 1. And the Mundo, you know, part of his itemization path is he has to go for that Spirit Visage. The healing that he gets from that item is so crucial, but that also sets him up to be very vulnerable for Master Yi. He doesn't have a Thorn Mail, he doesn't have any sort of armor item to really be able to prevent that damage, and DZG Heartbreak is just going to keep shredding, now sitting 4-1, dropping the Herald in the mid lane here.
It does look like DZG is going to get that easy third Drake.
Yeah, absolutely, and you discussed it last game, how Genesis didn't really actually utilize the Herald to get the objective. DZG do that. They drop the Herald mid, they go for the Drake, boom, slain in their pocket. Now they're on Soul Point. I haven't been counting, but I think that's probably like the 4th or 5th buff stolen here. Octofu looking, will not connect. LeBlanc just distorts out. Free getaway, but yeah, the only thing on the table really now is there's no more outer towers. It's Nash, or maybe go for a tier 2. But I'm definitely excited to see what the next big play will be.
Yeah, DZG has a lead, and they're the better scaling team. It honestly would take a big throw for DZG to lose this lead that they have.
Well, Caitlyn doing her best to put on the dancing shoes. She has tier 2 boots and the Gale Force as well. Definitely just wants to try to run away as much as possible and maybe not get hit by her hooks. Hasn't really been going in their favor, but hey, gotta give them credit for trying, huh?
I am starting to think this Caitlyn does not know any other builds, because it is, again, Gale Force, and it looks like an LDR.
I would say if it works, or if it's stupid and it works, and it's not stupid, but, you know, the side of DZG have been just coming up extremely strong in the bot side. And, you know, I feel like they're better poised to utilize that advantage that they got in the lane to be able to deliver better effects in the late game, mid to late game.
It is interesting to see the Karma go for Locket instead of Shurelia's to help her team go in or out of the team fights.
Now, do you think that's a good choice or not?
Unless her team happens to be standing on her, I honestly think Shurelia would be more worth it in this team fight.
Oh, we got to fight now. Ornhorn is pulled and will not be able to be stopped. The DZG Heartbreak goes on a rampage as he takes down the Karma. Hawk Tofu now goes on a killing spree as he's able to kill the Poppy. Now, a little Erect no longer has the Distort available to him, but the Chaos Storm will stop short. Gravity Field will not connect on the right target. DZG start up this Nash. Hook connects, Genshu looking for it, gets the Flay. None of the rest of DZG is following. They're saying, nah, we're good, fam. We got the Baron. It's going to fall. DZG pick up the objective and now sitting at a comfortable 6k lead. A little Erect is looking a little dead. One more little auto attack, I think, would be all she wrote there for a little Erect.
And they're TPing right behind, so DZG Reels might be dead.
Potentially, as DZG Reels is forced to walk up, not looking in a great position, but DZG pulls the trigger on their own teleports. TBS Collateral is sitting in the front line as damage comes out from the Ziggs. Genshu takes down the Mundo. LeBlanc falls to Genshu. Ziggs takes down Poppy. There is one member left remaining, and that is Karma. I don't think she can stop this base destruction as DZG just barrel it down. Do they go for more here? Death timers are sitting on 20 seconds. They have a Ziggs available. This might be game silent.
We can only hope.
Well, we see the flash come in. The hook does not connect. Chaos Storm will do it. And damage going onto these Nexus towers, as I think that will be it. DZG Reels blowing up these towers, doing what he does best. And game 2 going over to the side of DZG. Oh, man. That was a much better executed game from DZG. And honestly, it looked like they were just in the driver's seat the entire time. I was a little skeptical at first, but the Yi definitely paid dividends for them, that is for sure. Let's hopefully we see some of these damage charts. Victor and Yi just topping the damage charts, like absolute slaughter. Mundo doing a lot of work too, but you know, Tofu looked a lot more comfortable, got a lot more assistance there in that top lane to really bring it forward. So, play devil's advocate here for a second. What do you think Genesis now needs to do to get back?
Avoid hooks.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see if Genesis is able to avoid hooks in Game 3. We'll be bringing you the draft shortly. Don't know how shortly, but we will be right back. Thank you very much. See you in a soon. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back, bringing you Game 3 draft of DZG Olympus vs. Genesis. We definitely saw a lot of adaptation coming in from that first to second game, and DZG sticking with one tried and true, banning the Talon. And Genesis saying, hey, we do not want to deal with the Ziggs again. Now, looking at it, I do believe that we have a... Oh, sorry about that. I do believe that we have a substitution coming in from the top lane. So maybe Mundo is not going to be as prevalent in this draft. Bjark coming in here for the side of Genesis. So we'll see how much that changes up their draft options. Alright, now Cassiopeia taken away again. We're not giving him that. And, maybe Genesis just opts to go for the first pick Victor. Especially since DZG really showed how comfortable they were first picking it on the blue side. What do you think, Silent?
Honestly, they could go. I'm kind of interested in seeing if DZG's going to ban that Lux.
Right? The Lux is fairly obnoxious. Hackram taken away from DZG, and DZG will take away. We'll see that here in just a second. But do you think we'll see another hook? As you did get your Lux ban, I believe.
honestly, Rakan is a great pick here.
Well, we do see the Jinx come in, and DZG go ahead and say, we'll take the Victor again, and deny it from the mid lane, who I don't think looked that effective on the LeBlanc, if I'm being honest.
He definitely seemed uncomfortable, and I think that's where the Cassiopeia pick and potentially the Talon, if he does play Talon, fans are coming from.
But I mean, Jinx is an extremely strong pick. Now, I'm gonna be blunt. I'm a lot skeptical here, Silent. The bot lane from Genesis just hasn't done it for me, and I don't know if this first pick is gonna be that valuable for him.
Honestly, I definitely do not think it's gonna be that valuable since Jinx does not go Gale Force. So, and considering their positioning with hooks, they've been in the front. So I'm kind of expecting Ginshu's Rakan to kind of dance all over this Jinx.
Well, we are seeing a little bit of a change here from the side of Genesis as well. They played Game 1 Lux, they played Game 2 Karma. They're now saying, hey, we want an aggressive, engaging support. And the Corki coming in here for the from the side of Genesis will be a mirror matchup that we saw in Game 1. So maybe with this completely different playstyle coming out from the side of Genesis, maybe the bot lane will look different. Maybe they're not too concerned about watching out for hooks. And they don't have to be. I mean, you have a Rakan, who I think Nautilus does fairly well into. And DZG now opting to go for the Lovers duo in the bot lane.
Honestly, I'm kind of interested in hearing why the coach switched their ban from Corki to Cassiopeia, since it's obvious that they're running the Game 1 matchup again.
With some variations, for sure. We can always ask him like we had to in Game 1. Now, with the top lane substitute being pulled in. It looks like DZG still want to take away that Mundo option from the side of Genesis. They still have to pick their jungle. They still have to pick their top here. I'm sorry, yeah, jungle and top for both sides. Now we're not seeing a Trundle ban. We're not seeing a Sejuani ban, so that might be actually what DZG kind of looks here for. But you know, do they blind the Sejuani and take the coin flip of the Trundle? I would doubt that.
Honestly, if they want to make this Jinx's world a nightmare, go Malphite top.
Well, you know, I, for one, definitely always approve of a good Malphite top. Warren taken away from Tofu. Camille still left on the table. You have to imagine that's the next ban. Negative. They go for a Shin ban here. So what will DZG opt to do? Do they blind the top, which I don't think they should, or do they look for the jungle here and really give Tofu a favorable matchup? Maybe to show, hey, he's not a weak side top laner all the time. He can play the strong side. And especially when you have, you know, the, I guess, more utility options available to the Lovers duo on the bot side. Ooh, we see a Xin Zhao coming out here for Neeb, so he's definitely wanting to play aggressive tonight, as that will be locked in. Now, gotta wonder what Genesis is going to counter here with. Alright, time ticking away as we will see this pick coming in just shortly. Do you have any predictions here, Silent, for what they might want to run for?
Honestly, a Poppy still wouldn't be bad considering Rakan wants to run through, especially with Xin Zhao, so...
Oh, that is definitely not a Dr. Mundo in the top lane. Talk about scaling, Silent. You have a Corki and a Kale. And they do opt for the Trundle, completely denying the opportunity here for a Sejuani if they do want to opt for that in the top lane, which I wouldn't recommend, but instead, hovering Shyvana, maybe I'm just getting played with here. Let's see. Do you think they'll lock in the Dragon?
I think they will.
And they do. Now, I've been out for a little bit, you know this, but is AP Shyvana still the way to go?
With how squishy the DZG team is looking, I would definitely go AP Shyvana. And
I think you got your wish. The Rock does come in, which Kale can definitely play this lane out, especially if they have the hands of that Kale that I played against during my normals the other day. I think fat chance for that, but we shall see. As Malphite into the Kale, Xin Zhao into Shyvana, Victor into Corki, and the Lovers duo versus Jinx Nautilus. Silent, you see the draft. How you feeling?
if Kale can avoid early deaths to the Malphite and become relevant a little bit earlier, I think it's in favor of him. Jinx requires an ability to avoid Rakan's W. So honestly, as long as bot lane doesn't fall too far behind, although Jinx is a carry champ, late carry champ, so there is a chance for them to come back into the game. It does look like DZG needs to end this game quick because Malphite, although strong in early to mid game, he does somewhat fall off if he is going tank Malphite. So I'm kind of curious what kind of top lane we're going to get. Also, the scaling from an AP Shyvana, a Kale, a Corki, a Jinx, they just want to scale. So the quicker that DZG can end this game, the easier that they're going to be able to confirm a win for them today in this series.
And DZG have a lot of go buttons available. They have the Malphite ult, they have the Rakan tool, they have the Isaiah to really enable the Rakan to do the Rakan things. They have the Xin Zhao, whose early game damage is insane. So they need to find a way to accelerate the tempo of this game, as I think somebody had to drop out. Maybe there was a little bit of an issue there, I must have missed it. But yeah, they really got to find ways to accelerate the tempo of this game, whether through dragons, Rift Heralds, and I think equally, it's on the side of Genesis to just not opt into fights until they are comfortably scaled. Now, granted, always, you can see, you can always see things go a little foul in the early game, so that's always an option. You know, jungle's coming in and messing with the lane phase. And to confirm, somebody accidentally picked Ornn instead of banning Ornn. They were like, "Oh, I've got 4 bans." No, buddy, you've got 3. So we'll just get back into this. But yeah, it's gonna be, if Genesis can be patient and if DZG is able to really accelerate the tempo here, in my opinion.
I agree. Xin Zhao kind of falls off in the late game just because he wants to engage, but I don't think anyone wants to engage on an AP Shyvana, a Kale, and a Jinx.
Certainly, certainly, certainly. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're just going to see exactly what we expect to be picked here in the order that we expect it to be seen. So we're going to go ahead and hit you with the spectate break. We'll be back in about 4 minutes.
So I go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back bringing you Game 3 of DZG Olympus vs. Genesis. Tied series 1-1, and this game will decide who takes home the overall victory tonight. Joined once again here by Silent Elements, as we do see both teams fanning out with just your standard 5-point. Now, we talked about how we talked about what both teams really need to do, but it's going to be exciting to see if both of them are able to carry out their win condition. Now, you saw Game 1, you saw Game 2. Silent, where are you feeling that the overall advantage lies?
I want to say that if DZG is not able to end early like they were unable in Game 1, Genesis easily wins this, but I trust that they're going to make adjustments and properly end the game like they did in Game 2.
I felt like Game 2, even despite them having the super late carry with the Yi and with the Victor as well being in their pocket, I think they really accelerated the tempo. They just found what they wanted, they gunned for it, and just looked like they had total control over the Rift. And now I don't know if it was picks, comfort, mentality. I want to see that DZG come back onto this Rift. And I would really like to see Genesis bring what they brought in Game 1. I would love to see a good game. Granted, I want to see DZG take home the dub, but I'm always down for a good League of Legends.
Looks like Corky's foregoing the entire wave just to poke Victor.
Hey, sometimes you see blood in the water, you go for it. Definitely using the Gatling gun there will mess up the waves a little bit, but doesn't look like he's missing out on anything just yet, and I think it will slowly shove into the Corky. I'm sorry, into the Victor here. As yeah, he's going trading again, playing extremely aggressive. It's looking like almost the exact mirror of what we saw in Game 1. Mobster Penguin was playing that lane extremely aggressive, using the phosphorus bombs, using the Gatling gun to really pressure the Victor. And now Corky Valkyrieing in, playing this extremely aggressive. Lots of damage going out here. Those Hextech Shrapnels might be a little scary here, but the Victor does flash in, does get the first blood as Corky also flashes. It's going to be a waste, and Mobster Penguin showing the winner of that matchup. Huh. I was a little scared. Silent. I thought those Hextech Shrapnel auto attacks were just going to take Mobster Penguin down, but Corky just backed up a little bit, and Mobster Penguin just went all in.
Yeah, honestly, it was definitely in favor of the Victor. Corky just disrespected what Mobster could do and paid for it.
Well, Corky coming back with a control ward, Victor coming back with an Ampto and mana control ward. That has to feel good, especially getting that little bit of a leg up here. First blood, always nice when you get it. Now tell me how you feel about this lane. I've played it myself, but do you think that Tofu will be able to pressure this kill out and really deny her early game?
It does not seem like he's super comfortable with poking her out and is giving her a wave, so I'm honestly curious to see how this can play out.
DZG Heartbreak here now looking. I think the Valkyrie is still available. He flashes in, goes for the 1, 2, 3. Knockup will connect. The W connects, and Mobster Penguin, second kill in his pocket. Now sitting 2-0, and a little wrecked. Falls again.
Yeah, this means that Victor is halfway to his first augment already, and that is going to be huge for this game.
Oh no, White Armor Fanboy forced to flash there, as I do think that the Scuttle Crab was picked up by him. So he got the Scuttle Crab, lost his flash. I don't know if that's a real feels good moment there for him.
With Malphite without any of his mana, I think he could have used this opportunity to back and get some items.
I think he's aiming to crash this wave to prevent the freeze, but just without the mana pool available, like, you can use your W a little bit, but Kale sitting even in this lane right now for CS, I think feels pretty good for the Kale.
Yeah, it's honestly in favor of the Kale. I was hoping that Malphite would take more of an aggressive approach and try zoning out the Kale from farming, especially the cannon.
Well, it does look like we will get the bounce up in that wave here. Kale opts to use her TP to get back, and I think Tofu will probably do the same, even though, no, he just needs to walk back, 100%. Mobster Penguin and a little wreck trading again. Victor not sitting on a lot of mana, but he has to feel pretty comfortable about where he is in his life now. Sitting, about 700 gold up on this Corky. That's significant. Not in a great position for this lane. He doesn't have the TP available. Corky's healthy. He's so probably see him recalling soon as, yeah, he does take that reset now, so.
Yeah, and with the changes of TP, there is not going to be a modified TP to a ward. So for the next for 14 minutes, Malphite can only TP to a turret. So it's interesting to see why he kept the TP to himself.
Certainly. I mean, maybe he's just worried if he takes another trade or gets ganked by Shyvana. But DZG, we talked about accelerating the tempo of this game. 5 minutes in, they're opting already for this Drake. They feel comfortable about where their bot lane is. They know Victor's coming in. And Shyvana's not in any sort of position to stop this. Kayle taking the trades right now, but will it be enough? Forced to flash out. Tofu looking, flashes in, gets the kill. Tofu coming back into this series and gets the solo kill himself this time. DZG will secure this Cloud Drake. And we talked about this early game, and speed and tempo really needing to be in favor of DZG. Silent, I think we're getting what we asked for.
Yeah, and Malphite came back with an Oblivion Orb, so that's going to be interesting since Gale's healing isn't really that strong to begin with. I'm honestly curious how he's going to go with the rest of his build.
Yeah, I completely agree. If he's opting to go for the AP pathway, then definitely looking at more of the Lost Chapter to give him that mana sustain in the lane. And if he's opting for the tank Malphite path, then I would definitely want to see a Bramble Vest instead. Because Kayle will still auto you. Corki forced a Valkyrie out here, the gravity field will not connect. Kayle will still auto you. Even her E-auto is an auto attack, so you still get the distance that you need with the Bramble Vest as well. Malphite ulting in now. Kayle probably will be ulting here shortly. Does pop it now. Will the knock-up hit? It does connect. And DZG Heartbreak there in time to pick up a kill on Bjark. Kayle will fall in the top lane. It just seems that right now, you know, we talked about that tempo, and DZG Heartbreak is bringing it. He's got 2 successful ganks under his belt, 1 kill picked up, forced to flash on Shyvana, and Shyvana hasn't done anything yet, playing for the long game. But actually, Silent, looking at the Shyvana right now, she has a pickaxe, she has a longsword, and she's also got Conqueror, so I don't think we're going to be seeing AP Shyvana here. Do you feel like that's the right move?
Honestly, I still would have been more of a fan of going AP Shyvana, especially considering how squishy the DZG team is, especially considering that Malphite is continuously going tier and Oblivion Orb. So we won't be seeing a mythic item from this Malphite at all anytime soon.
Understood. Now, I get why you'd want to go AD Shyvana. Looks like we had a little bit of a disconnect there, so might have to do some finagling here. But AD carries this series just haven't been having it. So with that being said, you have the Kayle AP scaling, you have the Corki AP scaling, right? Going AP Shyvana just seems to kind of double down on it and not really give you too much. However, I feel like if you knew this, Shyvana was one of the later picks to come into the game. She wasn't last pick. One of the later picks to come into the game. Don't you feel like there's other champions that do AD Shyvana's job but better? Like,
I honestly do, honestly.
well, Shyvana goes in, does not connect. Mobster Penguin forced to use the flash there. And that's all she wrote. Sorry about that, Silent. Please continue.
No, honestly, I'm curious why there weren't more ganks from the Shyvana earlier, considering they are going AD Shyvana versus the AP. AP I can understand because you're trying to get to that level 6 so that you can use your E, but an AD Shyvana could easily walk in on, for example, bot lane, a hook onto a Rakan or a Xayah early game.
So, I mean, I think that it would have to come solely from the bot lane here, which we've already discussed and seen isn't really the strong avenue when it comes down to Genesis. Their performance has just been completely eclipsed. I don't know if we'll actually get a kill here. Mobster Penguin pops the Chaos Storm. Nothing else happens, but going back to my point, each of the 2 games that we've seen already, Genshu and Reels have just dominated a Little Enchanted and 7-Eleven. And that's the only avenue that Shyvana really gets assistance for gank setup. Otherwise, she's just forced to E in and then run really, really fast at somebody. There's no CC to be layered with a Kayle. There's no CC to be layered with a Corki. So I just feel like it's... I don't want to flame, but like just something didn't connect right in the draft for them. If this is the route that they're going, if they wanted the AD Shyvana the whole time, where was the disconnect? You know?
Yeah, I think AP Shyvana would have rounded out their team comp a little bit better, especially with Kale being able to force the auto. I think the burst that AP Shyvana would offer would be more impactful, especially if you could go Dark Harvest AP
Hmm.
Shyvana. So honestly, I think this is really in favor of DZG, and as long as they can continue this pace.
Yeah, certainly. Well, they do have the Herald, and I wonder where they're going to use it. I don't think using it in the top lane is the right move. Yes, it frees up the Malphite, but I think like if you break that top lane early and you just let Kale free farm, that's exactly what she wants. Maybe accelerating the tempo in the bot lane, maybe accelerating the tempo in the mid lane, I think should be the play here. But what do I know? We'll definitely see what DZG Olympus opts to do. What are your thoughts on the matter?
So I think honestly, DZG should use it on bot lane simply because I would want that mid lane to remain short for Victor, so that way he can poke safely, farm safely, while getting a lead for their bot lane. Because Xayah and Rakan do require a little bit more
Well,
gold,
there's the
and
Herald there, and Shyvana is waiting in the wings. Does pop the dragon, does not connect. Mobster Penguin does get the stun on the chaos field. Damage coming out now, and will not be enough. He can opt to take that W, but I don't think he's going to do it. Hey, Quirky Package is down. He had to use it to get away from DCG Heartbreak. This should mean that Dragon should be theirs. Genshu looking for it. Will he connect? And he does not. Valkyrie coming out again be crucial. They did get the charge off. Herald putting some gold in their pockets. 2k gold lead. And you have to imagine that second Drake going down for DZG.
yeah, this is definitely the pace that DZG wants to maintain, and it's great to see that they're forcing this. Oh,
Jinx Rocket will not be enough for the steal. Now, it just looks like the mid jungle duo here is coming apart at the seam. As Genshu will connect, Blazer will not connect due to the fact that Corki opted to use the flash to get out of there. Almost a third death there for a little erect. Not looking so hard this game. Um, Going back to my previous point, is there just seems to be a little bit of decent coming in from the Shyvana. She had the ultimate available. Corki had the package available, just opted not to use it. Octofu going in, utilized the ultimate. Now he's just going to wait this ultimate out, as he definitely will connect. Bjark, 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 why do you even flash that? You are 100% dead. Save the summoner spell.
honestly, it's kind of interesting because Tofu is running Exodia because he has 4 separate component pieces, and I'm fascinated by his build at the moment because he's got a little bit of everything. Obviously, once he finishes his items, he's gonna be a big threat. But I think honestly, with the pressure that he's having, he honestly could have a bigger CS lead if he worked on how to zone out Kale from the farm.
Certainly. Now, kind of going into it, I think one of the beneficial things with the Oblivion Orb here, because he's definitely going for the tank build. He has the Bomby Cinder now. You have to imagine that gets built into the Frostfire Gauntlet. Um, I think, well, Genshu, will he connect? He looks for it. Patience is not there. He goes behind, completely denying a little Rex options. Shyvana goes Dragon again, but finds nothing. White Armor Fanboy just looking completely lost on this Dragon. But going back to it, you think about the trade pattern that a Kale and a Malphite would have. Kale gets hit by Q, she's slowed down, she might pop her W to get a little bit of distance, everything's fine. But if she pops her W, she's getting no gain because she's affected with grievous wounds coming out from the Malphite. So maybe that was the mentality. I don't know. Maybe Tofu just didn't have a mentality when he went into it, and he's just going straight League of Legends garage sale, which could always be an option.
Yeah, honestly would have opted for more the Bramble than the Oblivion Orb simply because if he's not hitting everyone, then that's the only person that will have that heal reduction.
Certainly, especially
And
when
that
you eventually expect to see the Jinx. Getting Runouns with the rockets, you definitely want grievous wounds on that champion. Holy hell, Silent, we just saw the mythic completed for the Jinx, and it's not Gale Force this time. So, hey, we were wrong earlier, okay? They can build a different item. Uh,
but we were also right because without hooks they haven't died.
oh, true, true, there are no hooks. DZG did not opt for the hook, so I stand corrected. They're just opting to do a little bit of trade here. They go for that bot lane scuttle, which is all nice and dandy, but Drake's is still 2 minutes out. And I'm looking at the icon here, and I'm not able to see what Drake we have coming in next. It is going to be the Hextech Drake. How do you feel about that?
Um, I, I honestly think it's great, especially if the Hextech Soul goes in favor of DZG,
DZG
just because
does
they
not
want to pick
connect,
fights.
but they will zone Corki off, take first tower. We talked about that tempo time and time again. DZG, 6 kills on the board, 3k gold lead. They are looking prime for this game. 7-11, what are you doing there, friend? You don't have a team. A little Enchanted's here. Shyvana goes in. The Nautilus Assault comes out, and it looks like Malphite will not get the kill. Just a half an inch away. He will flash under tower, get the kill. Monster Penguin now looking a little dangerous, as I had no idea what went on in the mid lane. Tofu dies, Monster Penguin dies, and just Kale falling on the side of Genesis. DCG looking a little disconnected.
Honestly, I think Tofu did not have to greed for that. Yes, Kale would have survived it, but honestly, he could have just walked away and just forced the kill to back and continuously pummel. But instead, he gave his shutdown over to the Kale, which will help that Kale build her mythic. Well, not her mythic, but the item that she builds right before mythic. Forgot it was. I forgot the name of the item that she usually builds before mythic. It's the attack speed.
Nasher's Tooth?
Yes,
Yep.
Nasher's Tooth.
So, I mean, that's just the joy of the sunken cost fallacy, right? Like, you committed, now you just gotta go all in. Not the right play there, but I understand the mentality. Corki does have package, 16 seconds with the Drake. You have to imagine they would have liked this. I think they're going to be dropping that Herald top lane. Just kidding. He's taking the Empowered Recall. Probably going to utilize it to set them up for this Drake as it spawns in 2 seconds. They have to be a little wary of that Corki package. And hopefully, if you're a fan of Genesis, then Shyvana's right on the time with the Dragon here to really help her team out.
And the Hextech Gate should help Sinzao get there quicker, but it looks like he's opting to walk there instead.
And he's heading mid lane. I don't know if he's going to drop the Herald mid lane, give it to the Xayah, and have Xayah push in. We're actually seeing for the first time in this series the side of Genesis actually having the advantage in the bot lane with a 30 CS lead. The playmaking tools are definitely available still for the Kale. I'm sorry, for the Xayah, for the Rakan, but time will tell. Kale now hitting her favorite power spike at level 11 should feel a lot more comfortable pushing these waves, but Malphite waiting in the wings here, goes in for it, all in, damage, huge, Kale flashes, I don't think he'll live, does not, Monster Penguin now being focused up, kill does go over to Jinx, Shyvana goes in, it's 2 members, DZG, Heartbreak, and Genshu, Jinx still doing a lot of damage back there, White Armor Fanboy will fall, DZG health bars looking low, Teleport coming in for the Malphite, who gets on top of the Corki, Corki now being focused down by DZG Heartbreak, that is 3 members going down for the side of Genesis as this Drake will be focused, putting DZG on sole point.
Definitely the pace that DZG wants to continue, although it is interesting that they're always opting to have their entire team on the Drake, even though there is no possible way for Genesis to contest it.
Genesis didn't even have the Jinx rocket in there to contest, but now we have still 2 outer towers left, and DZG Heartbreak didn't even opt to use the Herald there to set up that play, so they still have that as a way to really accelerate the tempo of this game. I'd love to see what they do with it.
I
Honestly,
would
they could
love to
probably
see a
5-man
dive
barrel.
bot. I would love to see a dive bot, to be honest, because the Jinx and Nautilus is heading straight for that turret. They already have Victor down there. Rakan can walk down there. I honestly think they could force one.
Certainly, really get both Reels and Genshu into this game and activated and really set this Jinx and Nautilus behind. But once again, Tofu just saying, hey, let's play. Kale Ultimate is available. She probably will opt to use it here just now. He's going under, mistimes the Q, but still gets the kill. I think that was from the E hitting. And then you have to imagine this tower falls. DZG heartbreaking, Genshu on the top side of the map. Corki just here, gonna, I guess, maybe stop any further aggression onto the tier 2. But DZG setting 4K ahead. They're not really accelerating the tempo gold-wise, but definitely the map has just felt like it's been theirs.
Yeah, DZG. It looks like in this game can almost do no wrong. They're doing whatever they want, and Genesis can't stop them.
Well, it looks like White Armor Fanboy will be the focus again, as Genshu will go ahead and charm him up, but no further up damage will be there as Shyvana decides to go Dragon, gets out of that. Lobster Penguin maybe looking for a dive here as he puts down a metric. Fuck ton of damage. Teleport coming in now. Monster Penguin might be in a little bit of trouble here as Kale does join the fray. Jinx is now taking the recall. I think Monster Penguin is strong enough to win this, but White Armor Fanboy is here as well. Monster Penguin putting on his fancy shoes. A lot of damage going out, and Jinx is still here putting out damage. The Super Mega Death Rocket connects. Monster Penguin does get the kill, but does then fall to a little enchanted Jinx. And I think that's worth. I think you brought, you kept Jinx down there. You brought White Armor Fanboy down. You wasted a lot of time. And now DZG just might go for the Nash at 20 minutes. They're on it.
And there's nothing. It doesn't even look like Genesis is even aware of it, so it looks like an easy free free Baron.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that 7-Eleven might have some sort of inkling, but no, just clearing out vision. DZG's chilling, smacking this Nash. I think that's a free objective for him. Granted, it's slow as all hell. Teleport now coming in because they just don't have the damage, and this does give a little bit of time here for them to react. DZG Heartbreak going on to 7-Eleven now, fighting both the bot lane. 7-Eleven will be the focus, utilizes the Nautilus ultimate, and Genshu brings it right back into his team. I think 7-Eleven will fall. Kill ultimate coming down onto a little enchanted, who you have to imagine falls soon. Xayah ultimate comes out, double kill for Reels on this Xayah. The Dragon comes out, Shyvana looking for the damage, will pick up Reels, as now they will be the target themselves. Genshu, looks like you were trying to steal it there, mate. Kale doesn't have the ultimate, comes in, but does secure the kill on Genshu. Kale will probably fall now, does fall to Monster Penguin. 6-16 DZG just plowing through this team. Looked a little sloppy there, but they are so far ahead, I don't think they care. Little Erect is now completely flaccid, as they will fall to a solo kill from Monster Penguin. They did not respect and overstayed.
So do you think that they made the right choice by getting off of Baron while Victor was TPing there, or do you think they should have just stayed on it and just waited for Genesis to kind of close, since they really couldn't stop DZG from getting it?
I think the Shyvana was in the area to be able to go for the 50-50. They know they're strong. They know that they're able to take a sloppy fight and still come out on top. I think it was a 5-for-1. So I think ultimately, looking back on it, hindsight 2020, unfortunately. But yeah, it definitely worked out in their favor. Instead of risking the 50-50, they went with the higher odds play, I think, and it ended up working out for them. So yeah, I think that was the right move.
Does look like they're resetting, and they might just get Hextech Soul already.
They could opt for the Hextech Soul, or they could just say, hey, we're stronger now, we just got a fuck ton of gold off that last play. They could just rush Nash. There's no pressure on them to go after that soul. But there is all of the pressure in the world for the side of Genesis to prevent that. We saw that really mess with them in Game 1. Where the Talon was on the wrong side of the map, I believe it was. They were able to just get a free Nash. Super Mega Death Rocket goes in, we'll scout out the play, and it looks like DCG is opting to break off of this, but the members of Genesis say, hey, we're not going to contest, we're just going to barrel down mid. DZG don't start up the Nash. They just lost a free mid lane tower. Objective bounty going in the favor of Genesis. That is a feels bad, but they are coming in behind them. Quirky package is available, but they're in between a rock and a hard place where they're about to be when Malphite goes in. Two-man ult does connect. Damage coming out now. A little enchanted is ulted. Damage now going on to White Armor Fanboy. Now damage going out here on to, I think it's both, yes, a little Erect and Bjark. Does not have the ult available. Turns around, does a lot of damage. This Kale is strong, but not strong enough. A little Erect is now in a definitely between a rock and a hard place, as will take the damage. Octofu does get that double kill. Only member of, the bot lane still surviving of Genesis. It's DZG. Didn't necessarily get the cleanest of plays. They lost the mid lane tower. But they do say, hey, you know what? We got the kills. Now let's just go for the soul.
Does look like DZG's just enjoying their lead and doing whatever they want. And kind of just giving Genesis, hey, here's a little bit of hope, and then taking the hope away.
Look at the scaling options that Genesis has. Kale, Corki. Not really the Shyvana anymore because she's a AD Shyvana. Kale is 2-9, your Corki's 0-6. There is a 2,000 gold difference on both the top lane and the mid lane. So, yeah, I just don't see a way that DZG loses this game. unless they just completely slam their foot on the brakes and just puts around for the next 20 minutes and just lets the enemy team free farm. But look at the playmaking tools that you have available on the side of DZG. You have the unstoppable force from Malphite. You have the ultimate from Rakan. Like, you do not let them win. You have Nash now to really break into this base. This is DZG's game. Now, they just need to, you know, to put the tombstone on the grave, right? It's done. So, looking for that moment, looking for them to pull the trigger, and it really has to be breaking into the space because there's no Drake available, there's no Nash available, and it's going to be utilizing these waves to full effectiveness. Victor's in the bot side. I have to imagine that he has teleport available. Thanks Spectate, thanks Riot Small Indie Company for not letting me know that it's available. But DZG Heartbreak now getting smacked on by Shyvana. He might be a little bit in trouble here. This is something you don't want to see. The Victor teleport coming in. Genshu to the rescue, does get one knock-up, but not much more than that. A little wreck going in, does not have the damage. DZG should have been dead to rights there in some regards. Tofu now getting tanked up. Shyvana actually doing work, was able to take down the Victor. The Super Mega Death Rocket does come in, connects on the Malphite, will take them down. Genshu will now fall to the Jinx. Hey, this is looking like a completely different, a little enchanted than we saw in the first two games. DZG Heartbreak says, I'm out, while DZG Reels is the sacrificial lamb. And that was just mispositioning and disrespect. DZG lose 4 members and only secure 2 kills in return.
So I think DZG made a huge mistake. Instead of trying to put the pedal to the metal and just honestly pushing us 5 in top lane and shoving in, they had Victor back, which meant that they split their focus, so 4 of them are already there. Malphite isn't really going to make that huge impact anymore since he's basically an ult bot. Xin Zhao can't do much other than keep someone off. Victor was the damage outside of Xayah, and he left that team fight, so honestly, they really need to work on just trying to end this game and increase the pace of it instead of trying to slow it down.
I 100% agree. And now with Jinx getting 2 big kills there, I think most of your tools need to be utilized to putting her down. Unfortunately, a lot of the tools in that last fight were used very defensively and reactively. So DZG need to get their game faces back on and set the plays up that they want. They have Drake in 3 minutes, Nash in 3:22, and they only have one Nash buff left. So it's going to be about optimal setting up of the waves here, and DZG kind of just doing a 1-3-1 here. Hopefully it works out in their favor for sure. Sending their Nash wave into the mid lane to really apply the pressure here, and they're probably just going to look to take this last tier 2 tower. Certainly is what they opt to do. Now the members of Genesis sending 5 strong on the bot side. Not going to be able to really prevent this, but it looks like the Nautilus ult will connect onto Reels, who's able to utilize the blast cone to get out. White Armor Fanboy taking a lot of damage, but 7-11 is the first ult fall. 2-man ultimate coming out onto both the Corki and the Shyvana. 2 members, the Corki will fall here, as DZG is sitting on fairly healthy health bars, and all 5 remaining. I have to imagine this is where the base falls. Well, not the Nexus, just the base. The base gets cracked. So, we now see the tower is falling. Kayle is trying to not necessarily hold on here, but I think this is the tempo that they need. They still have Drake in a minute 30, and I can't imagine it ends this soon. Little Enchanted got extremely chunked out. DCG maybe rotating into the mid lane here to take 2 inhibs to really get themselves in prime real estate. Shyvana might be looking for something here. Does not have Dragon available, and the members of DZG will just back up. Super Mega Death Rocket comes in, but does not find anybody low enough to take their health bar completely down.
Yeah, it says 33 minutes.
Thankfully, Kayle did ping her Unleashed Teleport, so we know at least that one is available, Silent.
Well, that was kind enough that someone could ping their TP so we can see it. Honestly, I think they still could have kept that 4-1 split instead of rotating Victor all the way around, because Jinx gave up that top lane. They honestly could have taken potentially 2 turrets, take the top turret, and then as the rest of the team decides to pick a fight, you take the bot lane turret. But you know, it seems like DZG is just more comfortable running as a pack than trying to do the split push game.
Right. And, I mean, now this is This is their fight. I don't think that the members of Genesis can just let this objective go. They have to fight it here. And if DZG plays their cards right, this is the fight that ends the game. If they get the objective, cool. They just rush into the base, tower dive under Nexus towers, not give a fuck, and just win. If Genesis opts to fight into the fight, DZG should be able to outplay it with the leads they have and win. So I cannot imagine this game going more than 3 more minutes, but time will tell, as we do see Corky not sitting on the package here. The cards are not in favor of... Oh! It looks like the Shyvana will be picked out with the Malphite ult, will get blown up. Genshu gets the kill. The Drake is started. What do DZG opt to do now? Do they look for the base? Do they look to just take the Drake? And I think they're just going to go ahead and look for the Drake here. And there goes the Smite. There's no longer even a threat of a 50-50. DZG poised to really win this. Now, I don't understand the dance. It's kind of amusing, but I think they're just waiting for Malphite to really apply pressure in the mid lane.
Yeah, and the bot minion wave is also applying pressure, so Genesis time is very limited, and we'll see if it does look like they're trying to figure out what they want to do for the game plan.
Oh, this is one hell of a dance. The inhibitor will fall. Tofu's just completely content pushing in. He doesn't have unstoppable force available. There's no point for him to be there at this fight. And White Armor Fanboy is back up, but he's not there at the objective. Genshu goes in, gets the charm, a little enchanted, half health, but does survive for just a little bit longer. Just kidding. Reels takes the kill. Bjark goes in, gets a lot of damage down, but it will not be enough. There's 3 members left on the side of Genesis. Make that 2, as White Armor Fanboy is left to clear the base. 7-11 is forced to recall, and DZG will get this Elder. So what do? Do they go Nash, or do they go for the base?
I feel like with their Xayah down, they're gonna have to go Nash.
Seems to be what they want to do. They're walking that way now. And it's only 7-11, and Fanboy up. A little Enchanted comes back up at 5, and Reels will be up in 10, so they definitely do not want to fight this DZG Olympus squad with this Elder buff available. That is for sure.
Hopefully after this, we'll see assuredly the end of this game. DZG has quite a lead, and I don't think that there's anything that the other Genesis can do about it.
Well, they're opting to reset now, so we shall see what the last death throws of this game will be. I mean, one thing to consider, the KO is still not even level 16 yet. Still sitting at level 15. Not having a fun time on this champion. 4-10. It has had some moments where they looked like they got a little bit of the damage output, but Tofu just going in with the X-Tech Rift saying, hey, I'm here, joined by DCG Heartbreak. They go into the KO. Boom, boom, done. As that Elder will tick, tick, boom. Kill doesn't even get a chance to ult. Just kidding. Couldn't. Ult wasn't even available. As now, Shyvana's forced to ult, I think defensively. DZG just hard pressuring here. They have both mid and bot inhib down. They're pressuring this top one. They look for the dive. Shyvana getting damaged heavily. Reels looking a little scary, forced to use the ultimate. And DZG will be taking this game 3 and taking the series. GG, well played, Dreadzone Gaming.
It wouldn't be a DZG team without a game 1 loss and 2 wins.
Hey, we take those though. It was a little unfortunate, got me a little scared, but I am completely happy to see DZG pulling out another victory. That puts them at, I believe, 5-1 for their series record. Definitely looking to head in with a strong position for playoffs when those do come into play. So I am super excited. And Silent, it's always a pleasure to cast with you. I want to look at a few of these damage charts here. And I think we're going to see exactly what we'd expect. Yeah, Victor with an absolute metric load of damage. And, you know, Tofu had a really rough game 1. Really rough game 1. Just the Mundo was able to do what they wanted. He went where he pleased. But he definitely came very strong in a game 2, utilizing the Master Yi synergy that he has with Heartbreak. And then the damage here was just awesome. And he bent Kale over.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that sub was worth it. After watching Window carry the first 2 games and then see the sub top, I'm not sure what happened to this first top, but I bet that team misses him.
Maybe just a little bit. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming out and watching DZG Olympus take another victory. We'll bring you more action next weekend with Week 6 DZG Olympus, who are just absolutely a pleasure to watch whenever they're not getting run over by a Mundo. With that being said, I'm Chase, joined here with Silent Elements, and it's been an absolute pleasure to join y'all tonight. Peace.